Wonder who's gonna join me tonight for some super fun. There we go. Somebody's here. Hello, hello. Say hi when you jump on. It helps me know that I can see comments. Hello, Cheryl. How are you? Hello, Mama. Hey, so tonight I thought we'd try something fun. I'm still stuck on Christmas, so woohoo, we're going to Christmas it up again. So tonight I want to use the Rude-olph set. We still have this available in the shop, and we're not that far from Christmas. So if you have this stamp set and you want to color with me, you might want to grab it now. So I got, hello. So I got these a while back. They're from Recollection, so they're, Michael's, I think. And there's 6 of them in this set, and they come all layered. They're shaker tags. So I thought I would make a shaker tag tonight. So what I did was I took out the pieces. So this is how they come. So this is the box. There's 6 of them in the set. They weren't very expensive. In fact, they were pretty cheap, and I got them on sale. So they were an awesome deal. Hello, Joy. You have that stamp, so if you want to get it, we're going to color Rude-olph. And some trees. We're going to do some trees, too. So I took it out. There are 3 pieces to this set. So there's this plastic cover, which has a film over it that I already took off, so you could see how it works. And then there's the thin backing, and then there's this center piece right here, which is to lift it up so you can make a shaker out of it. And then this is the cover piece that will attach the plastic to, and then it'll layer on top of it like this. Now I thought about coloring the, thank you, Joy. I thought about coloring the outside of it, but I think I kind of like it in the brown for what I'm going to do tonight. So I think I'm just going to leave it. To prepare, I decided to use the leftover papers we had from making the Sweet Keeper last night. So I had an extra sheet of this paper. If you guys remember, we made this Sweet Keeper last night with that paper. And tonight I'm going to use the back side. So what I did beforehand, just so I could be ready, is I cut myself a piece of paper that's 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. Wow, that's easy. I used the plastic sheet and made it just slightly bigger than that. I rounded the corners, since the corners are rounded on here, so that it would fit perfectly on the backing. So I just decided to use my scrap paper for the backing. So this is what the back's going to look like when we get done. Hi, Renska. I'm going to make a shaker tag tonight. So when this all layers in, you'll see this. And then, of course, our Rude-olph is going to be in there. And some trees. So we'll put this all together in a little bit. I wanted to show you one more time, since we have a few people jumping in. It's these Recollection shaker tags that I got at Michael's. There's 6 in there, so you can make several of them. They look kind of cloudy, but that's because there's a plastic film over it, and when you take it off, they're completely crystal clear. Yay, you love shaker cards. I also pulled this white sugar shaker that I've had for a while from Sweet Sentiment, and we do have some we do have some sweet sequins in the shop. I don't think we have this particular one anymore, but we have plenty in the shop. So I took out of this set, I took the Rude-olph and the trees. But tonight, I've colored him once before, but I did him in brown, light browns and such. And tonight I wanted to do him different. So we are not going to color him traditional color like this. We're going to color him different. Just shake it up a little bit. We're going to shake it all up tonight. So the first thing we're going to do is stamp our guys here. So we have Rude-olph and the tree. So I'm just going to stamp those on there. I'm using my smaller size Misty if I don't drop my ink pad all over the place, mess anything up. I'm going to use my espresso to just put my even pressure around and then lift it up. His eyes are a little thick, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp him one more time just to make sure they get all black. Otherwise, I have to color it in with a multi-liner. So we're just going to make sure we don't have to do that. There we go. Now he's all perfect. Yes, winter wedding, so beautiful. Yes, she's dropping my links in the chat, so if you guys love these as much as I do, I'm going to take Rude-olph out because he's stamped really well, and I'm going to take this paper and flip it around so I can stamp the tree again. I want to put 2 trees in the background, maybe 3. So maybe we'll put the paper like this so that we can stamp it 3 times. So there's our second tree, and now we need a third tree. And I'm just going to make sure this will all work without messing up. So I'm going to move this down a little bit, put me some extra magnets on here so it doesn't move around at all. Did you guys see that? I almost tried to ink with my with my espresso. We have espressos in the shop and all kinds of good stuff. So now no better time than the future or than the present to get these items. Okay, so now I have 3 trees, which I want to put in the background, and then I have Rude-olph. So I'm just going to leave these on here and we'll clean them up after we finish. Since I put these on little papers and that makes it a little bit harder to color them when they're on tiny papers, I decided to go ahead and get out my little mat here that has sticky on it. So see, when I peel this off, it's sticky under here. I got this at the Dollar Tree, the $1.25 tree, if you will. And so what I'm going to do is just peel this off and lay it aside so I can put it back on when I'm done. And then I'm going to just put my little Rude-olph on here because we're going to color him first. I like to put him on the edge. I'm right-handed. So I figure if I put him on the edge, I won't be sticking my hand on the sticky part. I'm probably going to go ahead and put this one on there too, so just so I don't touch all that sticky stuff. And then we're going to color the trees and the little Rude-olph. So I didn't choose a color for the bottom stumps of the tree. Okay, now I have. So on my desk, I have already chosen all my colors, so here they are. This is what we're going to use tonight. We have red for his nose, blue for his eyes, green for the body, gray for the body, tan for the antlers. Then this will be trees. So if you were listening, you caught on to the fact that, hi Kay, that I'm not going to color him in a traditional brown. So let me zoom in so you guys can see him up close. Remember, this is the background that we're going to use. So it has some green and red in it. So I want to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and start with the white color, or grayish white, that I want to use for, and I'm going to use this is my marker blend stand. I'm going to use this so those of you who want to color with me will always be able to see what number marker I'm on. That way you won't have to ask me every time, what number are you on? You'll be able to keep up with that. So I want my colorless blender. I need that. So I'm going to put that in here. And then I've chosen C3, C1, and C00 to do this. So, hi Mickey. So we're going to do this little Rude-olph, but he's not going to be traditional. He's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to start with C3. Probably be nice if I put those right side up so you guys could see what they are. And I'm going to start with his little legs first. So I'm going to put in where I would put the shadow, which is around the little hoof area here. And then just right here and along his body. And we're going to do that. These ones are in the front, so they're not shadowed on the side by the other leg. So I'm just going to put the top and the bottom. This one in the back. I am going to do along the top and the bottom and along the side where that leg is shadowing the other leg. We're going to go along the bottom on this one and then along the top. So we have some little legs started. Started coloring on the little legs. I did some other stuff. I finished up all my cards for the new release that we have going on this weekend. Are you guys excited? I will probably post a sneak peek tomorrow so you guys can get a little taste of what's coming. But you won't want to miss this one. It's going to be super fun. Okay, so this is the C1. And I'm going to push back, kind of like I do with the skin tones. I'm going to push back that gray color into there because I really want to keep the gray around the outside because I really want him to look more like a white deer. I feel like that will really make him stand out on that background that I chose, because that background I chose is so dark, is so patterned that I wanted him to really stand out. You're making new release cards now? Woohoo! I know, it's going to be super fun. Unfortunately, because we have to order the new release so far ahead of time, I was in the midst of back-to-back shows, so I do not have a set in this release, but it's still super cute. C00 is next. Sorry, I had to grab myself a drink. Okay, so this one, I'm going to start filling this in. I am going to leave just a teeny bit of a white spot in there because I want to use my colorless blender to kind of lighten this up a little bit. So the center, I'm going to leave white except for this one in the back. That leg in the back, because it is very shadowed back there. There we go. Yeah, but that's not going to happen again because I'm determined to get so far ahead this year that it won't matter if we're having shows or not. I'll have already done my artwork. So that's what I'm going to be doing next week while I am vacationing, is lot of drawing. So this is my colorless blender, and I'm just going to do a little bit of back and forth over the entire leg so that I can kind of wash out that color a little, because I really want it to look white. And I am going to go over this one that I didn't leave any white on as well. You don't want to put too much colorless blender, because then it'll bleed outside the lines, and I don't really want it to bleed outside the lines. So that is the reason why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. We're going to start over with C3. Yeah, I had some ideas for this release that I wanted to draw, but I just ran out of time. Aww. Well, there's going to be lots of them. I've already done a couple of months for the new year, so I'm super excited. Hi, Phyllis. So now I'm going to come in with my C3, and I'm going to put some shadow under here, and then also under this little tuft of fur along his tail. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. A little bit underneath this tuft of hair. And then I think I'm going to do his ears at the same time. So I'm going to do this part right here, because I think I could do these pretty quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do them now at the same time. I'm super excited. This little deer is so stinking cute. I just love him. C1 is next. He's so cute. He makes me so happy. Just coloring him up makes me so happy, because he's got the cutest little expression on his face and his little nose. And you could actually do him as regular reindeer. Like, I would really like to do him on a slimline card where I could do all the reindeer. But I thought we needed maybe a 2-night back-to-back for that. 2 or 3 night to do that many deer. We'd have to do, what, 8 reindeer and then Rude-olph? That would be a lot of reindeer, but it would be fun. But I have this Christmas party I got invited to, so I thought this would be the perfect little tag to put with the gift that I have to take for the gift exchange. I don't know how we're doing, if it's white elephant or what. I've never been to this Christmas party before, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is C00. I'm just going to blend out, leaving white space in the middle for my colorless blender. Same thing with this one. And same thing with the ears. Now the ears, I'll probably be covering in most of the ears with this 00, but we're still going to go over it with the colorless blender. How are you guys doing with your Christmas cards? Are you getting them all done? Have you mailed them yet? I haven't mailed mine yet, but tomorrow I plan on addressing them all and getting them out, but they're already made. So with the colorless blender, I'm going over the whole thing to blend all 3 of those colors together. Same thing on this side. And then the same thing with his little ears here. So this is going to be a cute little white deer. I don't know if they have white deer. All done and mailed. Good job, Renska. That's super awesome. I know some other people have gotten theirs mailed. I got my sister's Christmas card yesterday, so it was my second Christmas card. I've only gotten 2 Christmas cards this year. I usually send out somewhere around 50, and I get somewhere around 5 to 10. Yay! Good. Yay, Joy. Rude-olph made an appearance on your cards, huh? I know they made an appearance on my mom's cards, too. Okay, so now I'm doing his face. And I'm also going to do this part of his mouth in this color as well. So I'm going to do a little bit under his antlers because there'll be a little shadow up there. And then I'm going to do around his nose because he's got big, big nose. And then I'm going to do this underside of his big smiley face. I know we do all these cards. My goal is to have them mailed out by Saturday morning when I have to go meet up with a friend. I'm going to mail them then. Yours are made, but you don't know when you'll get them mailed. Oh, if you have them addressed and ready, I can take them for you if I'm able to come over on Friday, Mom, to the mail for you and mail them out. Okay, so we're just extending out from where I put that gray before. And then we'll do around his face here, where we put that darker color. And I'm going to turn this so I can push this color back into itself. Oop, my finger stuck to my sticky grip pad. But this grip pad works really good. I'm very happy with it. It doesn't move. I did a lot of oxide coloring today. It was fun. For my new release, I used my oxides quite a bit. Okay, so C00, this is where I'm going to start filling it in, leave a little bit of it uncolored for my colorless blender. You bet. So I'm just blending this out, leaving the center part for my colorless blender. He's so cute. Aw, thanks, Cheryl. Oh, I had a hair that was laying on my arm, tickling my arm while I was trying to do this. Okay, going over the whole thing with the colorless blender. Same thing here. It's the colorless blender. I'm just blending all those whites together. There we go. See how smooth that is? There's a little bit here, so I'm just going to touch it with the colorless blender one more time because it didn't look blended really well. All right, so that I think I'm going to do his tail, but I'm going to do his tail a little bit darker than the rest, but I'm still going to use the same colors. So I won't use the colorless blender. Your 3-inch 3-ring binder of enamel dots. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of enamel dots. So with C3, I'm going to put these little lines in there so that it looks more like a little tuft of hair. And then C1, we're just going to extend out from where we put that original color a little bit more. And then with the C00, we'll come from the other direction. So we'll start here and push back. There we go. And that leaves him just a little bit of a design. I think we're going to go back in one more time with C3. Oops. I picked them both up with my one hand. think I'm going to go back in with C3 for the little tail because I want that to be a little bit more prominent here. There we go. Good luck. Okay, so that was a 3-color combo that we did most of his body with. I'm going to leave my colorless blender handy right here because you never know, I might need it again. Let's go ahead and do the antlers because you guys know I always try to go with the lighter colors before I do red and green and blue because, woo. Okay, so E43, E41, and then E50. So these are more of a brown taupe, and this one is the one that throws in just a little bit of that peachy-ish color, like for skin tones and stuff, and I think those two blended together do really good on the antlers. So that's what we're going to work on next. Antlers. So E43, we're going to start at the bottom down here. And I'm going to go ahead and do this little line that kind of goes sort of like putting a little vein, I guess, if you will, in the center of these antlers, because I think it's really helpful to make it look like it has definition. And especially since we're using only 3 colors, it helps to have that darker color in the center of it. I just can't seem to get a hold of this piece of hair that is tickling my arm. Okay, E41 is next. And I'm going to extend out from where I already put that color, so extending on those little vein definition lines.
Sorry, I gotta bother you.
You have to bother me?
Yeah.
It's okay. What's up? Nice.
How cool is that?
That's awesome. Hubby's working on a new project. So he had to share his next accomplishment with me. Because you know, those of you who know me know that my hubby and I are always crafting in our craft rooms together. Super fun. E50 is the next color. And so I'm going to go from the top down this time. Just kind of change directions will help keep from bleeding out that line that I put in there, and I really want that to stay prominent. So I am going from the top, the white area, into the color instead of from the color. And look how cute they look. They came out really good. Yay. So I think our next step, we're done with those 3. So this is pretty quick, easy coloring because we're only using 3 colors. And for the eyes, we're only going to use 2 colors. I'm going to use B26 and B04. This is going to be a deep blue with a little bit of highlight blue around it. So we don't need a whole lot of it. I put this darkest blue down here closest to his face. And it doesn't take a whole lot of this one. He looks a little funny right now, but it'll come together in a minute. And then a lighter color, which I chose B04. And then I'm just going to drag from this dark color around his eye. Just drag it around the black part of his eye. Just blend those 2 together. And now I have cute little eyes. And that was so easy to do. That's how I like to do his sweet eyes. And I only use 2 colors, B26 and B04. So next we're going to use our green. Let's use our green next. And unfortunately, I only have 4 green colors. So I'm going to start with G99. That's going to be my dark shade. And then I'm going to go to YG67, starting to introduce a little bit of that brighter yellow green. And then YG63. And then I want to throw in, hi Nicole, I want to throw in just a little bit of a really bright green to kind of lighten it up. So this will be an after, like we'll do them all with this, and then we'll put one overlay of this YG03 just to brighten it all up a little bit. So I'll show you what I mean. We'll start with G99. And since this is a little white deer and I'm not coloring him traditional, hi Tammy, I'm going to go ahead and color him so he's white, green, and red. That's my plan. So I'm going to start with his little hooves right here. I know this is not the traditional coloring, but this goes to show that you can do them in any color you want. You choose. And why not experiment? How cute. Right up next to the body. And a little bit over here. So that's just his little hooves. Then I'm going to go to YG67. This might not be something you guys would normally do, but most people usually stick with the traditional brown, black deer. But I wanted to do him Christmassy, so I've decided that we're going to put some red and green in this little guy tonight. Just to show that you can still make him look super cute even if you're using different colors. So right now it's pretty dark. Hey Julie, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. And then YG63 is the last color. Now remember, we have an overlay color to really brighten this up because this is not going to be the brightest because it's 3 darker green colors. And I want them to be just a little bit brighter. Although they are pretty good with this green. But see how this has a much lighter green? So I want to throw a little bit of that lighter green in there. So we'll see how well that comes out here in a minute. I did not test this before the live video. We're just rolling with it. Haha. I was trying to touch the video and I think I invited someone to join the video. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. YG03 is the brighter one, so I'm just going to go over it just to brighten up that color just a little bit. It won't brighten it a lot, but it will brighten it up just a little bit. Are you talking to yourself over there, honey? He is talking to himself. Oh, I'm sorry. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to do this little tuft of hair and these little ones under his ears as well in this green color. So the way I do that is first I want to do just a little bit up underneath this little chin, following the shape of his body. And then I'm going to do it just a little bit underneath where these tufts of hair are. And then down here at the bottom. Now, I want there to be just, I want this to look a little bit like tufts of hair, so I'm going to add just a few in here on each layer. And we'll do the same thing with the other green colors to hopefully get that to really stand out. There we go. And then for his little ears, just going to start on the inside and just make a few longer strokes in there. There we go. Anybody coloring along? Not sure. A few of you, I know a few of you have this stamp set already. Okay, so this is YG67. I'm going to start doing a few more of those little tiny brush strokes. I'm not doing them in exactly the same place as the other ones. I think I should go up a little bit and do them. That way they'll all be starting to mix together. Kind of looks a little bit like a mess. I'm going to go up from the bottom a little bit. But I think in the end it's going to look really cute. But right now, it looks a little bit of a mess. And then for these, just going to extend that out the same. And we have one more color. You guys can let me know when we get done what you think about this cute little white and green deer. I was like, I'm just going to go off the grid today. So YG63, I'm going to start blending this together. I don't want to blend too much because I still want to be able to see that white area so that it looks a little bit more like hair. And remember, we still have that last color to do that will brighten it up again so it'll be bright like these. He's looking really cute. I like him. I wanted him to be unique. I think the red nose is really going to bring it together. So this is my YG03. So I really am just kind of doing a little bit of a back and forth. This one moves, softens, makes it look a little fuzzy. I like it. Brightens it up, makes it look fuzzy. We're going to go from the top down on this one. Same thing with this little ear. Just to brighten up these colors. Just a little bit. I'm just adding a little bit more because I want it to be a little bit brighter. There we go. How cute is that? Thank you, Linda. And Rinska. And everyone who's saying he's super cute. So that's it for our green right now. I chose a different green for the trees because I didn't want the trees to blend with him. So I have R89, R46, and R43 for his little red nose. So with R89, I'm going to do just the underside of his nose. Just a little bit. It looks really dark right now, but it'll brighten up with these last two colors we have a whole lot. You'll see. R46, that's my favorite red, so we're going to use that. Now we're going to go all the way around. I'm going to make it very thin at the top because I want to leave it brightest about right here. And then I'm going to be extending this out. I'm going to go over it a couple times to kind of smooth out that line that I have there. Super cute. Aww. Well, I'm glad he's listening tonight. Hi, Pop. Hi, Daddy. Okay, now we're going to move on to our R43. And we're going to start blending this out. Now you can tell there's a great big difference between the first R46 and R43. So we have to just do a bit of blending along the line to get that to soften just a little bit. Once we start softening that up, it'll look really good. You don't want to soften too much. But look at how cute that is. He's so adorable. I just love him. Okay, starting to really work its way out, which I'm super happy with. It takes a little bit when you're going from this 46 to 43, but if you're patient, you can get it to really smooth out. And I'll hold it up a little bit so you guys can really see. See how smooth that nose looks? I really love that. So this is our little deer. He's done and ready to go. So now we have to work on our little Christmas trees. So I have different colors for them, and I actually have 5 total colors. So I have E27 and 23 for the little bottoms of the trees. And then I have G94, 46, and 43 for these parts of the trees. Oh, I'm so glad you like him. He does look very Christmassy, doesn't he? I really like him too. I was a little nervous about doing his hooves and stuff in green, but I love him. I think he looks so Christmassy. Okay, so starting with our E27, we're going to actually do all the trees at one time. So I'm going to make it dark at the top, dark in the corners, and then I'm just going to put some little lines in there because I want it to look like a tree stump. I'm going to turn this around along the top, the 2 corners, and then some little lines down the center. And they don't have to be the same, just as long as there's some brown in there. That's what I really care about. So again, along the top, in the corners, then I hold my pen upright with the tip really high, and then just put a few lines in there. They don't have to be big lines, just as long as you got some in there. Then I'm going to take my E23, which is significantly lighter than my E27. Thank you, Joy, for putting the link in there. Hi, Joyce. This is the color blend stand right here that I'm using. Okay, so now I'm just going to sweep over it real quick with this color, the E23, just to blend that out. It's not going to be seen that much in the shaker card that we're doing, so it doesn't have to have a lot of detail in it. But it's enough to make it look two-tone, which I like. Now we're going to work on the trees. They're going to take a little bit longer because I'm going to put a little bit of texture look in them. So we can take the browns off. We don't need those anymore. I'm going to move my greens up. So G94 is going to be first. And we'll start with this one right here. And just like I did when I did the trees by themselves when I drew the trees, I do these little brush strokes going down the tree just to kind of signify the bristles. And this is a little bit different technique than what I did them on the packaging, but I thought this would be fun. So just drawing in some of those, and then we'll come back in with the other 2 colors and go over and do it again. Hi, Tracy. And this will give us a little bit of texture in these. So I'm doing them as kind of angled and trying to stay about the center of the tree. It's kind of random, and there's no judgment on exactly how you do it, but I think it makes them a little bit easier. Hello, hello. To look, hi Kathy, to make them look a little bit more like Christmas trees. And this is a super easy way to do these trees to give them a little bit of a textured look. So that was my G94. Probably not going to need that one again since we're doing all three of them at the same time. G46 is next. It's the middle tone, so I am going to do a little bit of outlining. I'm going to go back to the first one I did. So I'm going to do a little bit of outlining around the bottoms of these because there would be some shadow under there. So I'm doing that first. And then I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do some of these brush strokes again. The same as I did before, just not in the same place, so they can overlap each other and start really looking like a little bit of texture. See how cute? Hi, Juanita. Okay, we're going to do the next one. We'll do a little blending with the last color, but for now, we're just putting in some texture. Some of these will be hidden. I think I'm going to overlap them behind the deer when I put them on the shaker card, but I think I'm trying to do this without sticking my hand in this on the sticky mat. Let's bring this over so I don't mess up the sticky mat. More brush strokes. And this is really random. You can do as many or as little amounts of those brush strokes as you want to do. It's just kind of it's your picture, it's your decision. It looks like I'm starting to get a little bit of growth on this marker. I may have to retire it. Either that or my nib is going bad. I can't really tell, but it looks like it has a little bit of something growing out on the end. See that? Can you see that little fuzz at the end? That's not a good sign on your marker. These markers, just so you know, that doesn't happen often, but these particular markers that I'm using are more than 15 years old. I take pretty good care of my markers, so and no two trees look exactly the same. So some of mine are going to have a little bit more in them, and some are going to have less, and it's just up to you. I'm going to go back here because I think I want to do a few little brush strokes out from these areas where I put the dark shade. And I think I'm going to go along the bottom. It just felt like it needed just a little bit more. I mean, it is not no lines, so you're definitely going to be able to see the black on the bottom. I think I need a line right there, and I think I need one right here. Okay, so now we have one more. This one. Same process. Just kind of pulling out from the edges. Giving it a little bit more. That's it for my G46. I think I think I'm going to put that one aside so I can research that one after the live and see if I need to replace it. G43 is next. So now what I'm going to do is go over all the blank spots so I can fill them in with color and kind of soften the trees a little bit, where you can still see the line, the details in it, but I want to kind of fill in the white spaces with this lighter green color. Look at how cute that looks, and it was so easy to do. Now let's do the next one. Same thing. I'm still following the same direction that I put all the brush strokes. So it doesn't mess that up. It's kind of like when you do hair, you always want to stay in the same direction as the brush strokes. There we go. Number 2, done. Time for number 3. And you can do as much or as little as you want, but just remember you sat here and put in all those lines for texture, so you don't want to wash all of that out and lose that texture that you worked so hard to get. So there we go. Now we have 3 trees. So we are all finished with our coloring. I'm going to take them off of this sticky mat. They peel right off. This is a really cool little sticky mat that I use when my paper is small. Looks like I got a little bit stuck and it bled through a little bit, but this is $1.25. How do I choose my colors that I put together? That's an excellent question. So I swatch them. Now, just saying that probably doesn't help you. Again, just FYI, this standard grip I got at the Dollar Tree. So when I chose my colors, I use a little piece of paper, and I use the same, so this is Sweet Sentiment paper. I make sure I use the same paper that I'm swatching on. And I choose 3 colors. So in this case, I chose these 3 colors. But when I'm deciding, I'll take the darkest one. I'll pick a dark, a medium, and a light. And I'll do a couple of brush strokes of the darkest color. And then the one I chose for the middle color, I'll take that and line it up next to it. And if they blend together really well, then I know that I'm not going to have any problems. And same with the third one, the lightest color. I kind of blend them together and make sure I get like a complete, I'll hold that up so you can see it without the light shining on it. But see how you can see that if I just touch this, it perfectly blends? So I know that's a good one to use. So this was my test before the live. So I started with this dark color, went to that one, and I didn't really like the way those two looked together. So I was just choosing colors that look good together. Once I did, then I came over here, and this is where I swatched them all together. And that's how I chose what color I wanted to do the trees. Once you have a little bit more experience, you don't have to do that too much, but if you want to switch up your colors, I always swatch them. That way I know they're going to work. Okay, so we have dies for these sweet little stamps. So this is I'm going to zoom out now so you guys can see. This is the Rude-olph stamp set. And I put a little, see that little flower sticker? That tells me that I have the stamp set and the dies. And then I'm going to put this die right over this little guy. Once I get it where I want it, then I'm gonna, oh, you're welcome, no problem. Then I'm gonna take a little piece of washi tape, I'm gonna rub it across my hand to kind of take a little bit of this sticky off. And I'm gonna get that right where I want it. And I'm gonna lay this piece of tape across it. I'm gonna press it down on the outsides, but not on the body. And I can cut the trees too, but I only have one die and I want to do 3 trees. So I think it's easiest if we cut one. We'll cut 2 of them ourselves, and one of them we'll cut 2 manually and 1 with the die. Since I can definitely run the die at the same time as the Rude-olph. And while that's running through the machine, we'll cut the other 2. Oh, I thought you were getting up to come help me, honey. All right, let me grab my die set here. Hang in there with me for a second. I have the Gemini. And you have to layer it up 4 layers. It has a magnetic sheet, so I just lay this. And I tape them because when you cut on the Gemini, you have to cut. I didn't get this laid on there quite right. On this tree. You have to lay them die facing up, so you have to actually tape it. Otherwise, it'll move all around when you put it in there. So I'm gonna set that one to cut, and then I'm gonna come back here with you guys, and I'm gonna fussy cut this one. It won't take that long, so. The machine finished before me. But this tree is really easy to fussy cut. But the reindeer is not quite as easy. So I figured I'd die cut him so you didn't have to sit here and watch me cut him out. Let's go this way. Alright, one more tree and we'll be done. That's one. I've done a lot of fussy cutting in my life. Even in the car. Sometimes I fussy cut my images when my husband's driving, because it saves me time. I've gotten really good at it. I can even diamond dot in the car. I can do lots of. One thing I haven't been able to master though is I cannot Copic color in the car. What'd you say, hon?
Staying awake.
He says one thing I haven't mastered in the car is staying awake. Anyone else fall asleep every time they get in a car? I do it all the time. I have the hardest time staying awake in a car. Ever since my son was born, he and I have always just slept in every car ride. I never used to do that when he was little. I mean, before he was born. But once he was born, I don't know if he just wore me out or what. So there's my 2 little images we cut out. So now I'm just going to remove the tape. Because I wipe it on my hand first, it comes off fairly easily, but it also sometimes cuts with the die. See? But that's fine. At least you didn't say something else. Okay, so there's my sweet little reindeer. He's all done. He's all ready to go. And I guess this one is being finicky. Yes, I stick lots of tape to my hands while I'm crafting. No better place to put it than just stick it on your arm. And I knew that one shifted. So that's going to bug me that it doesn't match the rest of them. So I'm just going to trim this one side down just a little bit because it's going to bug me. There we go. Yep, it looks like several of you sleep in the car as well. So I am not alone in my falling asleep in the car. And then I just buy these little magnetic sheets. What they are is business card magnets. I buy them on Amazon. And then they're already sticky on one side. I just peel that side off and stick it to the back of the Sweet Sentiment thing. And then it holds all my dies there so they don't go crazy. And they never fall out of my package because they're magnetically stuck in there. Okay, so when we first started, I said I was using these Recollections shaker tags. Really inexpensive, and you get 6 in the pack. We pulled out 1 to work with for right now. There are 4 pieces. So you get the bottom piece, and then there's 2 of these. One is thicker than the other. That's the one that designs the shaker, and then this is the one for the top. And then they also give you a clear acetate sheet in there too. So you get all your pieces you need. And then I cut this one 2 5/8 by 3 5/8 so I can stick it on the back here. So we could use this one, or nope, I didn't cut that one right, so we can't. We can only use that side that I originally intended to use. So we're going to glue this down. So this is my Barely Art glue. We have this in the shop. It's the best glue ever. So I know that once I put this down, it will be definitely sturdy on there. I'll give you a second to move it around. I'm going to make sure that it's lined up enough. And then I'm just going to press it down with my espresso. Okay. That's my back piece. Now you take the thick layer and place it and glue it down on top of this piece. But first we have to put our little guys on there however we want to do them. So I wanted the trees to be behind him. They'll be a little hidden, but I'm okay with that. I think I want to do them like that, but let's look at maybe this one being behind as well. Let's just see how our deer sits in here. Okay, so maybe, whoops, I'm going to grab my little tweezers. Maybe I want there to be 1 on this side and 2 on this side. So I'm just trying to see where I want to place them. Yeah, that's what I like. And then this will lay over top. There's a stray hair on there. This one will lay over top. So you won't see all of the trees, but I really just want you to be able to see a little bit of the trees in there. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. I'm going to glue this one first, because it's the underside, and I want to glue them pretty good because I don't want the shaker stuff to get stuck behind them or anything. So I'm going to place this one down here. Once I get them all on there, I'll press them all down really good. Now I'm going to put this one, and yes, I reuse my Sweet Sentiment paper because there'll be no waste. So I accidentally printed our inventory sheets on top of this paper. And I was like, oh, dang it. So I decided to reuse it. make sure the paper gets used on the other side. So now I'm just using my espresso real quick to just really press that down. I really want that to sit flat. Okay. Then one for the other side. We're doing good. This is going to be a cute shaker card. I'm excited. And I am literally using this for the Christmas party that I'm going to. So I was hoping this was going to come out really good. Okay. So I'm going to put one on this side. So I'm just building a little scene, but I'm also trying to keep in mind that when we put him on there, this is going to go over top. So I want to make sure that I can see most of the little Rude-olph. I really want to be able to see him. So we have to start about right here. So I'm just going to hold my finger there. I'm going to put my glue on the back of this little guy. He's a little wiggly because I'm trying to hold him with one hand. But I think it will be okay. Let's flip him around, get him some on his antlers. And then I like to use my little tweezers here for when I'm placing him down. I think about right there is where I wanted to put him. So we got to press him down really good. So we're going to use our espresso to really press him down. And then once we have it on there, we're going to flip it over. I'm going to rub it again, just to make sure we get all the glue evenly spread out. Okay, so now we have him on there. Perfect. Now remember, there's two, one thin, one thick. You have to use the thick one next. So the thick one will go right on top. And I'm just going to glue this on there as well, just like that. Isn't that just the cutest? Okay, so I'm going to put this glue on here. I want to make sure I get it around this part so that none of the shakers go astray. And you could use red line tape for this, but I love my Barely Art glue and I think it works just as good as the red tape. I think the easiest way to do, hi Michelle, is just to lay this on top. It'll give you, it dries clear and it'll give you a second to move it around. So I'm just going to get it exactly where I need it. Once I get it where I need it, I'm going to hold it tight in a couple of spots. And then I'm going to start pressing it with my espresso to make sure that it stays really good, exactly where I want it. Perfect. Look at that. Super cool. I probably could have moved it up just a tad, but I'm pretty happy with where it's at. Okay. Now, I haven't tried using Barely Art glue with this acetate, but I'm going to do it today. So we're about to see if it works out. So I know that this acetate is only going to go along here, so I'm just going to put a thin line of glue all the way around. This part as close to the edge as I can get. It's okay if you get glue outside because it dries clear and so it won't be a problem. Then I'm going to lay this acetate on top. I know it's going to be wiggly when I first put it down. So I'm going to try to lay it and then press it while I hold. It doesn't have to be perfect because honestly, you aren't going to see that part. So now I'm going to press on the front just to make sure it gets stuck where I want it to stick. one of those glasses cleaners. I'm just going to wipe off my little acetate sheet with the glasses cleaner on both sides, just to make sure I feel real good about that. Okay, feel like it's pretty good. Got a little spot right there. So I'm just going to wipe it just like I would with my glasses. It looks like it stayed on there pretty good. I'm super happy about that. So now we're going to add our shaker inside the box. So this is Sweet Sentiment sequins. So I'm just going to put some down in here, probably too much because it's a little shaker. Just going to put me a little bit of snow in here for my little reindeer. Probably still feel like I have a little bit too much in there. I like a lot of shaker though. I like a lot of shaky. Okay, so now we're going to glue this one on top. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue all the way around the outside part. I'm also going to put it on the acetate, but just not yet. I want to do around the outside first. And then I'm going to do just along the acetate. There we go. Looks like a lot of glue. Not too shabby. Okay, now we're going to place it on top of here. The awesome part is that the whole box, they all fit the same. So once you get it on there, you can press it together. Keep it from moving. I'm going to press with my espresso again. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to lay it on this so I don't mess up the screen part. I'll flip it over like this, and I'm just going to press with my espresso because I just want to make sure I get that glue on there really good. Look at how cute that is. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. That is super duper cute. I love it. I also have some ribbon. I want to put a little ribbon on there. I can't do bows, so I'm not like Jamie. But I want to put a little ribbon so they can hang it if they want, you know, if whoever gets it really likes it. So I chose this red with gold around it. And I'm just going to fold it in half. It's a little long, but that's the way I do it because I'm always afraid. And then I'm going to put the fold through here. Grab it. And then I'm just going to put my fingers through the little opening here. If I can get my fingers through there, my fat fingers. And I'm going to pull this through. Now I have this sweet little top. There we go. And then I have one more thing I want to put on. You like it? It's so cute. And he fits so perfectly in there. It makes me happy. But I have these bows. And I bought them a long time ago. Season of Glitz mini bows from Stampin' Up. And I haven't used them. But I thought, oh my goodness. How cute would this be? So I could use green or white. I don't really like the white. And the red's not the right color red. So we're going to go with green. Super. And they're just like regular bows. You just peel off the back should be easy. Just like this. And it's sticky, or it's supposed to be sticky. It sure doesn't feel sticky. Oh yeah, I guess it is sticky. And then I'm going to place this right here at the top. I'm going to use my little tweezers to really press that down in there on the plastic part to make sure it really stays. And now I have this sweet little tag here with the bow on it for Christmas. And he's a shaker. Those little shakers go everywhere. And we glued him down really good so no shakers are getting stuck up there. So we did good. How cute is that? These are really cheap seriously. I got them at Michael's. Or Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. Whichever one has Recollections. Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They're called shaker tags. And they give you a picture on the back that shows you like how to stick them together. But I didn't even read that. I just figured it out on my own. That's the way I am. I like to just roll with the flow and figure it out yourself. So here's my thought. So I know you guys really liked putting that together. So what I have next is I want to do a couple more, but I want to put these little reindeer in there, you know, and then put shaker all around them. So I think I'm going to do those later on and see how they work out. But I wanted to show you guys these tags because they're super fun, super cute. If you have a die cut, you can do the same thing. If you have a tag die cut, just die cut one in regular cardstock and then one in foam, like in a little foam, and then another one in cardstock. And then all you have to do is cut out a window, put the acetate, and you can make your own shaker tag. That's super cute. Look how cute that is. And the trees in the background. You can't see them, a lot of them, but you can see enough that it makes it look really cute. He's so stinking adorable. Anyway, if you love this set, it was from this one, Rude-olph. There are some still in stock. Not a whole lot. So if you want them, better go grab them. And they also have matching dies. So you don't have to worry about that. And this little moose, you can intertwine these lights in his antlers. Super cute. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was super fun for me. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we definitely have another coloring session tomorrow. And you guys remember this one that we did the other day. So we made an ornament and a shaker tag. So we'll come up with something else. I'm not sure exactly what we'll do tomorrow night, but we'll do something else, and it will be super fun. I look forward to crafting with you guys some more. And then don't forget that we have the new release on Saturday, so be ready for that. And thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great evening and a Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you tomorrow night. So, you'd love that one too, my dinosaur. Are you getting more dies for this stamp? Are there no dies in there? There should be dies for that stamp set in the shop. But if not, yeah, eventually we will. I don't think we have any on order right now. But yeah, just send us a DM or an email if you have any questions. And we can help you out. But he's super cute and super fun. So thank you for joining me. I am so glad I got to hang out with you guys tonight. So I will see you tomorrow night, same time, 9:30 Central, for another something fun. Good night.